Question.
政府議案
Government motions. Two proposed resolutions to be moved by the Chief Secretary for Administration. First motion, proposed resolution under Section 7(a) of the Legal Aid Ordinance. And second motion, proposed resolution under Section 22(a) of the Legal Aid Ordinance. Members who would like to speak, please press the Request to Speak button. Members have been informed that as two motions relate to adjusting the financial eligibility limits for legal aid applicants and two specific amounts under the Director of Legal Aid's first charge, this Council will proceed to a joint debate on the two motions, and then they will be voted upon one by one. The joint debate now begins, and I'll call upon the Chief Secretary to speak and move the motion. Chief Secretary. President, I move that my first motion, as printed on the agenda, be passed to adjust the financial eligibility limits, FELs, for legal aid applicants. Later, I will sequentially move another legal aid-related motion as printed on the agenda be passed, seeking to adjust the Director of Legal Aid, DLA's first charge. First, I introduce the first resolution. Legal aid services form a cornerstone of the legal system in Hong Kong and are essential to upholding the rule of law in Hong Kong. The policy objective of legal aid is to ensure that all those who comply with the regulations of the Legal Aid Ordinance, Chapter 91 LAO, and have reasonable grounds for pursuing or defending a legal action in the courts of Hong Kong will not be denied access to justice due to a lack of means. The Legal Aid Department, LAD, has two legal aid schemes, namely the Ordinary Legal Aid Scheme, OLAS, and the Supplementary Legal Aid Scheme, SLAS, which provides assistance to the sandwich class. While the beneficiaries and scope of the two schemes differ, both require applicants to pass both the means test and merits test as stipulated under the LAO to be eligible for legal aid, so as to ensure the prudent use of legal aid resources. For means test, the applicant's disposable income and capital must not exceed the amounts of financial resources as specified in the LAO. The amounts of financial resources for OLAS and SLAS are respectively specified in Sections 5 and 5A of the LAO. Pursuant to Section 7(a) of the LAO, the Legislative Council, LegCo, may by resolution amend the amounts. Pursuant to the mechanism established in the 1999, FELs are subject to review annually by making reference to the Consumer Price Index CPIC, according to the latest round of review for the reference period from July 2024 to July 2025, the CPIC has increased by 0.6%. Hence, we propose to adjust the FELs upwards by 0.6%, namely, from $449,620 to $452,320 for OLAS, and from $2,248,110 to $2,261,600 for SLAS. Madam President, I now introduce the second resolution. Pursuant to the LAO, if a legally aided person is successful in recovering or preserving any money or property in the legally aided proceedings, the person has to pay for the costs and other expenses incurred by LAD for the person pursuant to Section 18A(1) of the LAO. The right of DLA to recoup such sums required under such money or property is called DLA's first charge. That being the case, the LAO permits, under specified circumstances, the reduction of amounts recouped under DLA's first charge in accordance with the law. First, when DLA is satisfied that the exercise of the DLA's first charge would cause serious hardship to the legally aided person, DLA may, in accordance with the principles of fairness and justice, exercise discretion to reduce the amount to be recouped, provided that the sum to be reduced does not exceed the cap as specified in Section 19(b)(1)(a) of the LAO. Separately, Section 18A(5) of the LAO also provides that the LA's first charge does not apply to the first $9,730 of each monthly payment of the maintenance payment. Pursuant to Section 22A of the LAO, LegCo may, by resolution, amend the rate of maintenance payments that is exempted from the DLA's first charge, as well as the cap on the amount by which may be reduced in cases of serious hardship. In response to the increase in CPIC by 0.6% for the reference period from July 2024 to July 2025 as mentioned above, we propose to accordingly adjust the two above-mentioned specified amounts upward by 0.6%, namely the amount specified in Section 18A(5) upward from $9,730 to $9,790 and the cap on the amount specified in Section 19B(1) upwards from $116,420 to $117,120. We have informed the LegCo Panel on Administration of Justice and Legal Services of the outcome of the reviews regarding the proposed adjustment via an information paper in February 2026. Members raised no objection to the proposed increase. Subject to LegCo's approval of the resolution, we will implement the proposal upon gazettal of the resolution. I appeal for members' support for the above resolutions. Thank you, Madam President. I now propose the question to you that the Chief Secretary's first motion be passed. Mr. Lam Chen-Sing.
Thank you, President. This resolution seeks to raise the financial eligibility limits for legal aid applicants in relation to OLAS and CLAS, that's Ordinary and Supplementary Legal Aid Scheme, so that no person will be denied access to justice due to a lack of means. Now, in relation to employment compensation claims, the success rate in 2025 was 94%. So for workers in financial hardship, the legal aid could help them seek justice. So I support this adjustment. Now although for the Labor Tribunal, the litigants are not legally represented, they are normally not required to pay costs, but usually, when it comes to wages in arrears, the liquidation process will have to be completed first, and one may apply for the PWIF fund. Now, we can also engage private lawyers to file a claim against the liquidated employers. Still, although the claimant receives an award at the Labor Tribunal, the employer may still take the case to an appellate court, and that means legal aid will have to be applied for by the employees. An employee may only earn some $30,000 with an asset of $200,000, and then this worker will exceed the financial eligibility limits. Now, the deductions may not be the same in every case. Some workers may not be in a grassrooter. Still, it's a heavy burden even for the middle class. Now, this adjustment is made on the basis of the CPIC, but I think the the legal costs should also be taken into account. Another point is that once every 5 years, the government will review the financial eligibility limits, including the ceiling. In 2020, the government increased the FEL for OLAS and CLAS by 30%. So apart from making annual adjustments to the FELs on the basis of changes in CPIC, on a regular basis, the government should consider other factors so as to adjust the FELs and allow more to benefit from legal aid. I submit the resolution. Mr. Johnny Ng. Thank you, President. The resolution seeks to adjust the financial eligibility limits for legal aid applicants by 0.6% on the basis of changes in CPIC that reflects pricing changes. so that for applicants under the ordinary and supplementary legal aid schemes, they will not be denied access to justice due to a lack of means. Now, I support the resolution. According to the administration's paper, there will be an additional $170,000 of expenditure every year under the Legal Aid Department because of this adjustment, and that there will be a minimum impact on the Director of Legal Aid's first charge. And this is not a major change. In fact, the adjustment is that for OLAS, the amount will go up from $449,000 to $452,320, and for CLAS, the amount will go up to $2.2616 million. So this is only to catch up with the headline inflation. I believe that adjusting FELs on the basis of CPI changes is not the best way to reflect the real situation, especially for legal aid applicants. After all, CPIC reflects changes in consumer prices and the impact on housing expenses. Legal services, however, is not the same as daily supplies and other consumption items. With escalating costs in taking cases to court, the government should review the whole mechanism to include, for example, fees and charges of professional sectors, including law firms, operating costs, etc. In the long term, the government should conduct a study to review the mechanism for FEL adjustments so as to help the grassroots as well as the middle class. The scope of OLAS and CLAS should be expanded to cover residents suffering from property losses so as to accept more claims. For example, for CLAS, starting from the 1st of April 2020, the scope was expanded to cover losses stemming from scams, deception, frauds, as well as losses as a result of fraudulent transactions relating to derivatives and futures. Now, there's been a rise in the number of cryptocurrency scams and financial scams. I've received complaints from victims seeking help. I think the system should be enhanced to help victims of scam cases recover their losses. In recent years, we've also seen disputes relating to building management or renovation. The government should also review the system to provide help to owners. On the whole, apart from catering for the needs of grassroots, the government should also meet the needs of the middle class. I support this resolution. I hope the government will consider further refining this mechanism on the adjustment of FELs. It should not just serve the purpose of catching up with inflation. You should make sure that there is access to justice and interests and rights of citizens can be protected. I don't want anyone to be denied access to justice because of lack of means, or that people would exhaust their savings just to take the case to court.
在請
No other members who wish to speak. I will now call upon the Chief Secretary to reply, then the debate will come to a close. Chief Secretary. Madam President, I thank the members who spoke on the two resolutions as well as their support. As I mentioned earlier, the legal aid service is a cornerstone to our legal system. The government makes sure that everyone who comply with the regulations of the LAO and those who have reasonable grounds to pursue legal action will not be denied access to justice due to a lack of means. This is very important. Due to a change in the CPI, we update from time to time the financial eligibility limits of the potential applicants and the two amounts that can be exempted by the DLA. I will respond to the members' comments. The government, in accordance with the mechanism, has been conducting annual review on the financial eligibility limits. We also make reference to the CPIC in the review period to make sure that the financial eligibility limits of the legal aid services is up to date. This mechanism has been effective. We base our review on the CPIC because this index is calculated based on high-income individuals and household. This is crucial because we're not using CPIA or CPICB. That's how we help the middle class. And this is why we have adopted the CPI of a household with higher income. We understand that the financial eligibility limits need to reflect the cost of private litigations. That's why we adopted the CPIC to adjust the limits. The government will continue to keep in view the financial eligibility limits of the legal aid schemes. We will look at the trend of the litigation cost and the affordability of the applicants of the legal aid schemes to make sure that there is a balance between public finance and helping people in need. Members, please rest assured, no one will be denied access to justice due to a lack of means. This is our main goal. We will keep in view the figures, and if necessary, we will adjust the figures. I so submit. I hope that the members will support the set 2 resolutions. If the resolutions are passed, they will come into operation upon gazettal of the resolution.
現在嘅待決
And I'll put the question to you that the Chief Secretary's first motion be passed. Will members please proceed to vote? Members, please press the present button. With those in favor, please raise their hands. Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of the members present. I declare the motion passed. Chief Secretary, you may move your second motion. President, I move that my second motion as printed on the agenda be passed. I now propose the question to you that the Chief Secretary's second motion be passed. I now put the question to you as stated. Will members please proceed to vote? Members, please press the present button. With those in favor, please raise their hands. Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of the members present. I declare the motion passed.